Okay, well, welcome to this AI masterclass tonight. I'm very glad to have you with me. I'm excited actually to share a few tips with AI because I know artificial intelligence is not always easy to use for our classrooms. And also, I want to show you today actually that AI is a tool to help you, but it is not. It is absolutely not a tool to replace you. And you will see tonight that you need to have the pedagogical background. You need to have the experience as a teacher in order to create quality material, quality activities with AI. So that is one of my main messages. My name is Dunya Chamberlain. I am the founder of INTA. I started INTA because I've been working with many, many teachers. First, I was a teacher, then I was an assistant principal in charge of teaching and learning. And while working with the teachers, I always heard from many people, we really need a little bit more support. We would love to have a place where we can talk to other teachers who teach the same as we do, and also where we can maybe an area where we can ask questions. So this is why I created INTA, and it's growing very fast. Now we have over 600 members. And it's only teachers. It's only for teachers and by teachers. So it's a very small niche. So we have over 600 teachers from over 50 different countries. So it's very exciting. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you join one of our discussion groups because this is where you can meet other teachers. This is where you can ask questions. This is where you can share something like what you do in your classes or with your students, whether it's working or not, but you can share. And then also where you can ask for advice. So it's a very nice place to be in the discussion groups. So I wanted to start first. I see we're not many people, so I was going to first start to put you in a discussion group. But as we have very few people, maybe what we can do is that everybody can first introduce themselves. Either you can just turn on your mic and then introduce yourself, say what country you're working in, your name, maybe one thing that you currently take that currently takes too much time in your classes or in your preparation, and especially how do you feel about AI in your teaching? So would someone would like to start maybe?
I will start if you want.
Excellent. Thank you,
So,
Rebecca.
Rebecca Kwasnick, speech language pathologist. I think it's an orthophoniste in French, I believe.
Yes.
I've worked in special education for 24 years, preschool through 12th grade. And I've been on this AI journey trying to educate myself, using it more with my lesson planning. I haven't really used it for paperwork as this far, just because I've been doing it for so long.
Mhm.
But I want to get more efficient about using AI and teaching my kids how to become AI literate, and not thinking it's a cheating tool where a lot of teachers kind of refer to. Oh, and
Exactly.
I'm in Massachusetts in the United States on the East Coast.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe Veronique, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience with AI and what you do and which country or which school do you work at? Oh, maybe she's not here. And what about Shame? Would you like to present yourself also? You could, if you want, do it in the chat if your baby is with you right now.
Yes, hello. I think
Here
my
you
baby
go.
is a bit cooperative. Hello,
Excellent.
everyone.
Hello.
My name is Miss Shaimo, and I teach chemistry and physics
Yeah.
for high schoolers in an international school in Saudi Arabia.
All right.
And I've picked up on STEM actually this past year. So AI has been part of, I actually also teach AI, or
Okay.
we attempt to at least. Um, I've been using AI to do my quizzes, my homeworks,
Yes.
and I'm struggling with how to make an an efficient class material in the sense of something to present to the students.
All
I
right.
always, yeah, I always tend to fall back into the trap of just using it for the decoration and not for the information. So I would like to be able to handle it, you know, better. And yeah, I think that's the time my baby would give me, and I'm looking forward for the session.
Yes, well, thank you so much. We know how it is with a little one. You have about 30 seconds to say something or to do something, and then you have to give back your attention to your baby. Excellent. Is Veronique back with us or not yet? Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to show just share the PowerPoint so I can see, I can show you what I've prepared for you. So here we go. And let's see, and I'll put it in in a big screen. Okay, so it is about AI, like we just said, and it is about saving time without losing the human teaching. So this is really important, and it is actually the main idea of this masterclass, is that the teacher, you're the person who still makes all the pedagogical decisions. And then AI is here to help you with the process or to help you build or to help you find resources. But you have to know you're the person who makes all the decisions. So that's quite important because often we see some platforms where you can go on and then you can say, well, give me a lesson plan for this. And then they send you a lesson plan all made up. You can do that if you want, but I find that it is just not specific enough, and it is often a little bit it just doesn't do exactly what you want to have to come back to you and what you want to give to your students. So it's important that we use AI as a tool to help us, but not to create and to build the entire unit or to build the entire activity for you. So this is the main idea. Today we'll be exploring a few different perspectives on AI. Then we're going to have a short session on brainstorming. What are three teaching tasks which you wish took less time? Then we'll have a collaborative discussion activity. So looking at where do the teachers stay in control? And then where does AI help us or supports us? I will talk briefly about three different AI strategies. So mostly how to write prompts, how to create activities with AI, and then also talking about effective exit tickets. I don't know if you use exit tickets, but they are very powerful, and just show you a little bit a step by step how to do that. And then at the end, I'd like to just have, maybe we can all share one nugget we will take away, that you will take away with you. I find that every time that I go to a workshop, I try to bring back one or two nuggets with me so then I can try to use them in my classroom. I avoid taking too many nuggets because then I find that actually I just don't do them because it's overwhelming. So just one for today. I will ask you to maybe identify one. And then at the end, we'll have a feedback and closing. So we've done already the first activity of introducing yourself. So I'll go on with this one. And so here we have we have an activity where I'd like you to just respond in the chat. So you can put either A, B, C, D, or E in the chat. Or if you want, you can come on and you can just turn off your mic and tell us which perspective on these different ideas about AI do you relate the most? So, for example, we have the first one would be AI and teacher creativity. How do you think AI could influence teacher creativity? So I'm going to let you think for a couple of minutes, and then either you put your answer in the chat or you come online and you tell us why or which one speaks more to you. All right. So I see Rebecca and Chaim put B, it can support creativity by saving time. Yes, I agree also. You definitely save time with the creativity. It saves time. It can give you many more ideas than the ones that you think of. And again, it all comes back with how do we use it? So how do we ask a question to AI to have the correct answer that we're looking for? So, second question. I have quite a few things on my screen. Sorry. There we go. So, students using AI for homework. What do you think? What best reflects your current thinking about students using AI for homework?
Do you want us to comment on it instead of in the chat?
Yes, you can comment in the chat, or you can just come on and open your mic. It's much easier.
Okay.
Either one, yeah.
So I would say for it would be B, definitely guided properly. However, a lot of students aren't. So all my kids, because they have a language or learning disability, they could actually use AI to help support their learning. Instead of saying, give me the answer, they can say, explain, what is the process to say metamorphosis? And then they can go back. Or if they don't know the vocabulary word, then they can, search it up, asking for a definition, put in context with pictures.
Yes,
So.
definitely. Yes, I agree. Does Shaim, can you get online and tell us what you think? Which one speaks most to you?
Actually, I would love to say A,
Yes,
because teaching higher grade or high graders or high schoolers,
yes,
they tend to take the easy way out. They just copy paste whatever AI throws for them, and they think the task is done.
yes,
So it makes them miss on the in-depth knowledge or even the skill itself. So, but I do understand that it's inevitable. AI will be used, and thus we should guide them properly, and maybe remove homework, and it starts to become more of a classwork if I want to ensure students not using AI in order to master a skill.
yes, yes. Yes, it is. A lot of teachers, many teachers have this problem, especially in the secondary school where you have the homework, that you give something out, and how do you make sure that your students don't use AI to do the homework, and they tend to do so. What a lot of schools have done is to have clear boundaries and expectations. So in your classroom, not only you have your class rules, but you also have AI class rules. So when is it okay to use AI? When it is not? If you use AI, for example, you need to give your source. How do we source? So you do have some rules and explanations on how to use AI in your classroom, and that usually helps. So at the first day of school, maybe you just prepare a document and then you go through with them and then say, well, we will be using AI, but please respect these boundaries and my expectations. And that has been working very well. Here we have one about teach AI and teacher burnout. What best describes your view on AI and teacher workload? Here I see.
I believe it's A. Maybe
Yes, for you,
it
yeah.
definitely reduces those repetitive tasks of generating lesson plans, generating objectives or learning targets. Um, and even it helps us map those objectives to the standards or yeah, I think it does reduce repetitive tasks throughout the year.
Yes, yes. For me, it's the same. I see Rebecca also says A. It also especially reduces the administrative tasks. So when you have to do, let's say you must take minutes of a meeting, you can do that with AI. You can have help writing emails to parents. That helps also. You can. I use it a lot with analyzing all the students in the class, I want to analyze their performance. So I use AI to tell me, oh, I see that most students had difficulties with this question and not this one. So for analysis, it's very powerful. And it definitely reduces the time because analysis take a very long time to do. So yes, I would agree also with A. I've got two more. Let's have a look. So teacher and the AI shift. How do you see the role of AI in the future of teaching?
I think A, if not even basic and beyond basic, because AI has been around for a few years now, maybe even longer. And right now, this year, I'm just kind of catching up on how to really use it. So I think it should be a crucial part of our education, along with hands-on stuff and books and things like that too. So it should be a combination of everything.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, I think everybody should have at least a little bit a basis of of how to use AI in your classroom. Um, because otherwise, just the fact that your students know a lot. So how do you keep up with them? But also, yeah, how do you integrate it? You cannot. Well, some teachers say that they just don't want to use it to help them. It is possible to do so, but you're going to have pressure from your students, so it's going to be very difficult not to know anything about AI. And I see Shaim says also, see, schools are moving too quickly towards AI. Yes, well, I saw that also in our school. We went with a one-to-one computers maybe 10 years ago, and now many schools are going backwards. They're stepping back and they're saying, well, maybe not every student should have a computer. Maybe we shouldn't use the internet as often in the classroom. Maybe we should go back a little bit to the basics. And then you also said D, human teaching skills matter more than technology. Yes, definitely. I totally agree with that too. And we know that AI, sorry, I'm just admitting someone. And we know that AI cannot deal with human skills. So whenever there's a human component in whatever you're doing in your activity, AI cannot deal with it. And this is one strategy that you can use. You were saying, Shaim, at the beginning, that you're worried about how you can do homework, give homework to your students. A good strategy is to put the human part in your homework. An example would be, let's say you have a lesson about I don't know, about the climate change. I don't know what. So a lesson about climate change, and then your assignment is according to what we discussed and shared in our classroom, and then ask you a question. Because AI does not know what you talked and what you shared in the classroom. So AI cannot help you. So cannot do the homework. So this is a way, always bring it back to something that was done in the class or something that is with emotion, because AI is not very good at doing that. And then the last question that I have is, with human relationships and AI, what best reflects your perspective on AI and human connections in education? So I see Brock is telling us E, the balance between AI and human teaching will be important. Yes, I agree also. Definitely, we need to keep a good balance between the two. We can't go too far on one side or too far on the other side. Then Rebecca says B and C. So AI can support teaching, but not emotional connections. Yes. Again, we go back to the emotions. AI cannot do this. And C, AI could free teachers to spend more time with students. Yes, in the planning, again, AI does help you save time, and the time that you save, you can spend it on something else that is important to you, either connections, time with students, or anything, but it does free some of your time. And I see Brock agrees with that, also with the C.
If I may comment
Yeah.
on just A,
Yes, of
strong
course.
relationships will always remain central to teaching. I've
Yeah.
noticed through my experience, students do not learn from teachers they don't like.
Yes.
And so I would, all of them are legit, all of the choices, but when it comes to A, it's a really a tricky one because teachers tend to spend a lot of time focusing on the technology aspect in my school,
Yes.
and they have complete disregard to the fact that if the student doesn't like you or my baby, they wouldn't learn. So that's my comment on A.
Yes, yeah, and I think thank you so much for this. It's a very important comment. I mean, often we focus on AI, or we focus on the curriculum, or we focus on really what are the objectives, how we want to teach it, and often we forget about the relationship with students. And you are totally right. When you have a strong relationship with your students, it totally changes, first of all, your ambiance in the class, but also it changes the way students learn. It's been proven that students learn better when they have a stronger relationship with their teacher. Yes, I totally agree. Excellent. Well, thank you. I just wanted to get these out so we can start thinking about AI, about how it fits with us and how it fits in our class, in our classroom. Now, the next activity that I would like to do is an individual brainstorm. And this one, we don't need to go into discussion groups. We can do it here also. So either you can write it on the chat, or you can write it on a piece of paper, or you can just come on and turn on your microphone and share with us. What are three teaching tasks you wish took less time? I've given you a couple of examples at the bottom. It doesn't have to be there, but it could be maybe lesson planning. It could be writing reports. It could be writing to parents. It could be creating rubrics. What are three teaching tasks that you wish took less time in your teaching? So here I have Brock, who's already saying lesson planning. Yes, it takes a long time. Creating impactful presentations. Definitely. I don't know if you teach with PowerPoints, and then to create those PowerPoints take a long time. And he says also grading. Definitely grading, either grading essays or open questions, or even grading multiple choice questionnaires. They take a long time. Rebecca tells us lesson planning. Yes, the same. Differentiating instruction to support needs of diverse students. Definitely, I spend a lot of time on this, and AI is very helpful with this. And then creating text supportive with visual and vocabulary meaning. Yes, for example, I am a language teacher. So what I use, I find that it is very difficult to find some text for my students, because my students may be 12 years old, but they speak the third language or the second language. They have a level, an A1 level. So how do you prepare material or text that is accessible for them for the language, but it is also age appropriate? Definitely. Oh, hello, Soha. Not a problem at all. Come and join us. And maybe you can join us and tell us what you think about these questions we have right now is what are three teaching tasks you wish to take that you wish took less of your time? And here I see a shame that says generating activity ideas. Yes, finding ideas. You have your objectives. You know your objectives. You know how you want to assess them, but how do you get the ideas or the different activities so they are engaging, they are maybe hands-on for the students, and they're motivating for your students. So definitely that is not easy. It is something that takes a lot of time to do, and AI again helps you a lot. I use AI for this very, very often. And Soha saying, I'd say lesson planning is very hard. Yes, I think that's the one for everyone. Evaluation and assessment for kindergarten students. Definitely, how can you make them age appropriate? It's always what can I do so first of all that it's accessible to my students and also that they are able to demonstrate their understanding. So how do I do that for my students? So for you, Soha, are the kindergarten ones. For Shaim, it's the secondary students. For Rebecca, are the students who need support. So yeah, how can you do that? And also, Soha says creating materials for playtime. And this again, AI is very helpful for it, and it will make you save a lot of time. Could I ask out of everybody who's here, who is already using AI for either the lesson planning or for differentiating or for creating assessment? Yes, Rebecca?
I am not so much. I don't really do assessments because all my tests are standardized because my kids have disordered speech or language, but
Yeah.
definitely lesson planning and differentiating instruction.
And do you use a platform to do that, or do you use an AI chatbot, or what do you use?
Usually Gemini. I kind of stick with Google, and I use it that way. So I do follow some other very AI educated people that have all these gems set up. So sometimes I go to AI gems and kind of see what they already created. And then sometimes I'll just use it and make my own things through Gemini.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. And I see Shame says also that she uses AI, so she uses Claude or ChatGPT. And I see Soha is the same. So I'm really relieved that you're not using any platforms, where you go in and you just say, okay, I want a lesson plan for today, and it comes out like this. So it's nice. So you're actually already writing your own prompts, and then also write. Then if the prompt is not complete or does not give you what you want, then you use progressive prompting to really narrow it to your objectives or what is the focus of the activity or the assessment. Excellent. Very nice. Um, oops. So here I have a collaborative discussion activity. Again, we're not many, so maybe we'll just do it here. I don't have to send you in a group discussion. We can have our own group discussion right here. So this activity is kind of where you're going to talk together about where does the teacher stay in control. So, for example, you can have, I'm just going to close my chat there so I can read it. There you go. So, I've given you a couple of examples of lessons. These are examples you can use or not, or you can use examples that you are using in your classes. And then what I would like you to think about is to answer the question of in your lesson, what should remain fully under your control? So what are the things that you decide in the activity or in the assessment or in your lesson? And what is what AI can actually support you with? So what is it that you need to control and what does AI support you with? And We don't do the reporting back because we're all here together. But I wanted to show you a concrete example. I have actually two examples. The first one is when you differentiate. So this would probably talk also mostly for Rebecca, but for all of you also. When the teacher needs to control exactly, you know your students. So what do your students need? So this is in your control. You cannot tell an AI, well, create a differentiated activity without telling them who your students are, without describing your students. Also, the emotional understanding. Some students have more needs than others. So you're the ones who know that. You're the expert. AI cannot replace you on that. And also the level of support that you want to give your students. AI, if you ask AI, it will give you a generic one, unless you are specific and you say, I have students this level who need this level of support, this other students who need that, and other students who need that. AI in differentiation can help you adapt your text so they are accessible to your students. Even you can adapt in, if you have different levels in your class, you can ask AI to adapt it in 3 levels, and that's very easy to do. It can scaffold questions or it can scaffold the language. And also AI is very good to generate extension activities. Another example would be assessment. So again, what is in your control is you know what your learning objectives are. Okay, that's nobody, AI does not know that. You also know what is the focus, what is your main idea that you want to teach in that lesson or in that unit, and also how you want to interpret, how you want your students to interpret the learning. So how are they going to demonstrate their understanding? This is, you're in control. AI cannot do that unless you have very, very specific prompts, and then it can help you. AI can help you create rubrics. If you haven't used that, it's excellent. It's very easy to do. And they can either give you rubrics, the traditional rubric style, or all different types of rubrics. It can generate exit tickets. I don't know if you use exit tickets, but they're very powerful to find out what your students understood during your lesson. And also it can help you to create quiz questions or test questions. That's easy. So those are things that AI can help you. So what I'd like you to do is maybe together find maybe an example that we had. I'll go back in the previous screen. Either you use one of the example that I gave you, or you can give someone would like to share an example, and then together maybe let's brainstorm what, so to answer the two questions, what should remain fully under the teacher's control, so your control, and what are things that AI can help you to support the planning. Maybe what we can do is, anybody has an example of a lesson that you would like to try to work with on this question. It could be a lesson, or it could be an activity, or it could be an assessment. Or if you want, we can take one of the examples that we have here.
Can we walk through one of the examples?
Yes.
Because they all seem, it seems like a very broad spectrum. So, and I would definitely love to see the other teachers, because I think in math and some things related to science, a big part of the lesson goes for direct instructions,
Yes.
especially when we're talking about the basics. So, like the basics of numbers or adding or subtracting fractions. So that would be under the teacher's control. Um, and AI would support in the assessments and in the differentiation, and but I don't see it for, let's say, history lesson. I'm not able to relate that. So maybe if we can take that, or maybe writing something something probably away from science, so I could see the perspective of other teachers.
All right. I see Rebecca do you have an idea?
We can, if I was actually interested in the science aspect, but we can do history. I mean, that is fine, or writing. Obviously, what would remain fully under control if you're talking about writing is the content of what you want your students to write. You don't want them just searching a topic and getting a bunch of ideas and using the ideas, but use it to support their learning, summarizing text, and then also simplifying for students that are struggling in reading and their language is delayed, that they would kind of need things that, say, if they're fifth grade, maybe they need it kind of summarized or differentiated to maybe like a third grade, and then they'll be able to understand a little more. So we can do any of them. Writing or social or history is fine with me.
Shane, do you have a preference
Yes,
between the
I
history?
think, yeah, I think maybe we could go for writing, as Mr. Becca says.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What would be under your control? So let's say you're doing, let's imagine we're doing a writing class. Maybe we need to think of the type of writing we want to do, and what would be
Mhm.
under the teacher control?
Well, I think the instructions of just what you said, the type of writing. So are they doing something where they're taking facts or writing something that's nonfiction? Or is it going to be something that's fiction based? So giving the clear directions of what your goal and outcome is for the assignment.
Yes, definitely. First of all, you want to have your objective. Why are you teaching this writing class? And then you need to give them the information they need and to tell them the type of writing you want, and then especially what are the skills that you're looking for. So you need to list the different skills that you're looking for. It could be either writing complex sentences, it could be using connectors. So any skills that you want them to put in the writing, this you need to decide. AI cannot decide for you. I guess you could ask them what are the skills for I don't know, for a 15-year-old student to write you were talking about a summary, something like that. You can do that, but you need to be also looking at your curriculum and decide what are your goals and what are the skills for the students. Anything
I'm
else?
just wondering, is it is it is it one tag? Is it yani, I mean, what I'm trying to say, what should remain fully under my control? What Mr. Becker just said, would it apply to all of the examples? So let's say I would be in control of the content of any kind of lesson, whether it was science or writing or history, or should it be different from a lesson to another?
It depends on your objective of the lesson. So look at it at one lesson. What is your objective? And what do you want the students to be able to do? So you've got what you want them to know, what do you want them to be able to do? And this you have to decide. And then once you have that, you can ask AI to fill in the in between and say, how can I do this? Give me different options and then to do this. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. So I think for our example, I think AI would support me. I I would want to say, I'm not sure if English teachers do that. I would want to say maybe I can get AI to do the correction for me, where I upload the two writings of the student and the rubric, and I say, check it, maybe. I'm
Yes,
not sure.
I'm good. Your prompt will have to be way more specific. So you're going to say, for example, okay, you're putting your students' work on it, and you want to analyze it. So you're going to have to look at your rubric. What are the parts that are required by your students? Maybe a certain vocabulary, maybe certain skill. I mean, all the items in your rubric, you're going to put them in your prompt and you're going to ask AI, look at my students' work. Have they completed or have they completed the criterias of the assessment of the assignment? And then you can also ask AI, Can you tell me which criteria was the most difficult for all students? And then also tell me which student had difficulties with it and which students were able to did very well with it. And then that helps you to reteach. Rebecca, what do you think? Do you have something else that you could give to Shang?
Yes, I think using it as a resource to go back and edit text is important, especially with our students that are using it to plagiarize. I believe you can now use AI, or maybe you always could, to kind of go back and say, is everything generated from AI, or is that context or what the student has created actually their thoughts? I kind of read that somewhere. I've not done it yet. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think AI for writing and doing all those things is very helpful. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you. I see Soha is saying, I would be in control of the whole teaching process, but I can ask AI to merge two skills together in one activity. Definitely. So you are teaching what you want the students to know. You are aware and you know what your students must be able to do. And then you can use AI to do your activities to bring two skills together, because sometimes it's difficult if we have especially if you have two concepts and you want to bring the two concepts together. Sometimes it's difficult to find activities for that. And AI definitely can help you to do this, to make it easier. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm going to show you some different types of prompts, because it's very important to be able to write some prompts that will give you the answers that you're looking for. So I'm going to, one second, I'll move that again. So I want to just show you a couple of strategies that I use very often. Maybe they'll be helpful for you. So the first one is common mistakes about prompt writing, then how to create activities with AI, and then and then also creating exit tickets. So the prompts. So we have very often, when we write prompts, we write them in a way where it leads to misunderstanding, and AI doesn't really understand what we want. So then what AI gives us back doesn't really work. And we're like, well, that's not what I asked. So it's important when you write prompts to think about what you need to include. So the first one that is important is you need to make sure that your prompt is specific and clear. If you're not specific or clear, you may get an answer from AI that just doesn't fit at all what you're looking for. Here I've given you an example of a vague prompt. Tell me about AI. AI will give you a whole bunch of things, but probably it's not what you're going to be looking for. So to be specific, you can say you want it to be what you want it to be used for. So used for lesson planning, and then you definitely need to see who is the audience. Here are secondary school teachers. Okay, so you need to make sure to say exactly what you want and then who is the audience. So be as clear as possible. Also, you want to make sure that you have some structured questions or a structured topic. If you do just how does AI help in education, this is very, very vague education. Then the AI needs to know a little bit more. What specific topic of education are you looking for? So a structured prompt looks more like list 3 ways. You can tell them how many ways you want or how many examples you want, because then you have exactly, you can get, I usually ask between 5 and 8, and then I can choose the ones that I like. So how many, list 3 ways AI can help teachers plan lesson and provide an example for each. So you see, I'm very specific. If I ask for ways, then I also ask for examples. Then I know if the way is the one that I'm looking for. Through the example, I can see, oh yeah, this is exactly what I want. So that works. Another way is to make sure that you always provide the context. So you want to say what it is for, who is it for, how are you going to use it. So as much as possible, you want to give information to AI, so then they are more specific in their answer. You also, something that works very well, and I ask that all the time, is give me steps. Like if I want to, let's say I want to teach photosynthesis, for example, then I'm going to say that. How can I teach this? Give me the steps of how I can explain it. And then also give me different activities. Which way do I teach them? Which one is more important? So use AI to organize your material, to put it in chronological order, in order of importance, and in steps. That works very well. Oh, sorry, there we go. Ask, like I said earlier, ask for examples. Whenever you ask AI for something, tell them, give me some concrete examples. So here I have, give me 3 specific examples of AI tools that improve lesson planning for primary teachers. You see, I'm very, very clear. I want 3 examples. I want them to improve lesson planning, and my audience is primary teachers. So always think to be as detailed as possible. Also specify the format. There are many different formats. Maybe you want your students to write a summary. Maybe you want them to write a hypothesis. Maybe you want to create an exit ticket like we're going to do after. So tell them, what exactly do you want? What format is it that you want? And that will help AI. Like if you want to do in science, like a lab report, I often ask them, show me the steps of a lab report and give me all the criteria for each step. What do I want to ask my students? Then I can even go further and I say, make sure it matches the IB, the International Baccalaureate criteria. So then it puts it together. And the last one, I think, ask one question at a time. Often teachers or people who use AI ask many questions in the same prompt. That's difficult for AI. Go one question at a time, so then you can get the answer of your question. Then you can ask another question to go deeper, and then you can ask another question to go deeper, and that's called progressive prompting. And this is very powerful because by the end, you'll get to exactly what you're looking for. So here I've made you a little poster that has all these different ideas to remember when you're writing effective prompts. These ones I will send to you as a resource. I have a couple of resources that I will share to you, and I will send them to you after this masterclass. So I will send you this, so then you have a reminder about what to include when you write effective prompts. Are there any questions about effective prompts? Does that make sense to you? Excellent. Okay, so I will send you that afterwards. Then another one that I thought, and it's perfect because Shaim, that's what you were looking for, is how to create activities with AI. So again, you have to be very organized with it. So you're going to use this progressive prompting, and you can see exactly what is it that you need in order as a teacher, what is it that you know, and what is it that you need to put into the prompt, and then how AI can help you with this. So I'm going to show you an example. I made a specific example there. So the first thing that you need to do is when you want to create an activity is you need to define your objective. So let's say you have equivalent fraction. Your objective will be, for example, students will understand that different fractions can represent the same value. So I know this is my objective. This is what I want students to understand. I need to bring this here, so then I can put it into my prompt. Then I'm going to choose the type of activity that I want to do. So let's say for this example, I'm going to ask the students to have matching games, like collaborative matching games, and I'm going to ask them to do a visual representation. Once I have all this, so I have my objective, I have my audience, I have the type of activity, now I can start drafting my prompt. And here I gave you an example of prompt, create a 30-minute activity. So how long is the activity? For grades for students, my audience, the objective to understand equivalent fractions, and using the type of activities, visual models, and matching games. Then I can go in progressive prompting. I can say, well, can you adapt it for my students? Because I have mixed ability learners. So I can write a prompt, adapt the activity for mixed ability learners, again, my audience. Then I can include support for students who struggle. And then I also want to have an extension for my students who are much more advanced. Again, I'm thinking about what I want, and then I ask it for to ChatGPT. So here, for example, they can use for support, use fraction circles or strips for the ones who have difficulties. You can you can have a core task where they have to match, and that works for all of the students, the other ones. And then for an extension, I can ask students to create their own equivalent fraction cards because I want to push them a little bit more. What is important to know when you do these activities is that you always need to make sure that it is age appropriate. And especially when you think of the type of activity that you want them to do, make sure it's an activity where they explain their thinking, not just give you something that they've memorized or match cards. Does that make sense? I made you another example. So this would be for writing, the persuasive writing. Again, my objective, I identified my objective is persuasive writing. Then the type of activity that I want to do is discussion, planning, and writing. Then I can write my prompt. It's going to be a 45-minute duration of the activity. It's going to be for my grade 8, so it's the audience. Then I give the objective and the type of activities. Then I can adapt it again. And then for assessment, I can just say, well, I want to have, so they're going to either write something, they're going to write a paragraph, or they're going to discuss arguments in pairs. Here again, just be careful to always reread what AI gives you, and make sure that it fits your students. Also, make sure that it fits your curriculum. This is why it's so important to start with your objectives at the beginning. I will also send you this little posters for you, so you can have a look. You can have that at home whenever you plan. You can look at that, and it walks you through all the steps. And then the last activity that I just wanted to show you today is how to create exit tickets. So exit tickets, I don't know if you use exit tickets. Does anybody use exit tickets already?
I've used it once and it was a fail for me because I think I gave up on it too soon. But
Ah.
yes, it actually, you reminded me of exit tickets because I've never fully, tapped into its power.
Oh, they're excellent. They're incredible because not only they tell you what the students understood of your lesson. So right there you can see, oh, they understood something totally different from what I taught. Maybe I should have a look at it. Or maybe you see they understood exactly what I wanted. And then also it helps you because you can see what they don't understand and then you can reteach it the next day. So it's a very powerful tool. So exit tickets allow you to do all this. What you need to, however, when you do an exit ticket, you need to make sure that it fits what you taught, it fits the objective of your lesson, and it fits especially your main idea and your students. So let me show you a little bit how we do that. So when you, again, same as an activity, you always start with your learning objective. So what is it that you want your students to know, understand, and be able to do? For example, students explain how plants produce energy through photosynthesis. I'm saying it in French, sorry, photosynthesis. No, I don't know where the intonation goes. So really what you need to find out what is your learning objective. Then you're going to look at the type of exit ticket you want to do. Remember, an exit ticket is something you give a couple of minutes or 4 or 5 minutes before the end of the lesson. They have to complete the exit ticket before they can leave. So you want to choose what type of exit ticket you want to ask. Do you want them to show you what they understood? Do you want them to reflect on something that you taught in the class? Do you want them to apply something that you taught in the class? Or do you just want to have a feedback on how you taught and how you can improve it? So you choose the type of exit ticket you want. Then you tell AI what you want your exit ticket to be. So make sure that you tell them it's specific, it's short, it's aligned with the objective, it's easy for you to analyze. That's very important. Don't add more work to what you're doing. Something that is easy to analyze, or maybe you put all the exit tickets in AI and ask them to analyze it, but you don't want to spend too much time on it. The idea is to get an overall idea and then focus on the main idea. Avoid putting yes no questions because you don't learn anything from the yes no question. Don't make it too complex because then it's going to add more questions rather than helping you. Again, like with AI, don't put multiple questions, only one, it's enough. And sorry, I've got something in front of this task, and make sure it's related to what you're teaching. Then again, you can use progressive prompting. So if you're not happy, you put all this in AI, and then you're not happy with what AI gave you for your exit ticket, go back, ask more questions. Maybe you want more differentiation, or maybe you want to change the format, or maybe you want your students to do more thinking, or maybe you want to give more support to your students. So always go back until you get exactly what you want, and try it. And if you try it, come into the discussion group and tell me how it went, because you're going to be amazed. I mean, it's really a great tool. What you need to remember, whether you do exit tickets or whatever you do with AI, remember to always check. Check for accuracy, for clarity. Make sure it is appropriate to the age of your students. Make sure it aligns with your curriculum or your objectives, and that it's the right cognitive level. Okay, it's important that AI don't just take what AI gives you for granted. You need to go through it and make sure it works. So these are the three AI strategies that I wanted to show you today. Can you put in the chat what would be one nugget that you will take away with you today? Is there one thing, either the prompting or one of the activities or the perspective or what teachers control and what AI can help you with? What would be one nugget that you want to take away with you?
If I may start, I
Yes.
think it's what I control because earlier I assumed that I no longer have any control. I just prepare something
Ah,
at home and then I go to the class and I show it and the students would nod that yes, we get it, and I give them a homework. They go back, they use ChatGPT to solve it because this actually happened with me. And
oh
then they
yeah,
come back or they came back w- with a completely wrong solution.
yeah,
And till now, I couldn't get them to solve properly. What ChatGPT gave them
yeah.
was is probably now still till now still stuck in their head that that's the right way and that's how it should be done. So I think you've I'll take that nugget that I must take the control of how I let my students use AI and what I control and what I should use AI in helping me to do.
Exactly. It's like you're planning your lesson like before. Like we did not have AI. You have all the steps, the process of your lesson. You plan that first, then you take AI to help you with each step. How can you do? How can I differentiate? How can I have an activity that targets this? How can I check for their understanding? So if for each steps, that's when you're going to use AI. But the plan, the planning and the process of it is all yours. You control all that. Anybody else would like to share a nugget or that?
I will.
Yes.
So I appreciate all the information about prompting. That's probably one of the hardest things initially you're going to do is write the prompt, because I'll write it and then I'm revising and revising. And I've gotten better, but I'm still not really efficient. So just reminding me of those strategies for writing a prompt, because the best prompt will give you the best outcome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Well, I will give you not only I will give you the chart with the prompts, but I'm going to also in the resource folder, I'm giving you some example of prompts, lots of examples of prompts. So you can also look at those one and then improve from them. And Soha, did you have a nugget today? Something that mm, no, maybe she doesn't have a speaker. Okay, I'll continue. I'll just finish and then she can always come back. I wanted to show you. So these are what I'm going to share with you. The writing effective prompting, the step to creating activities, and some prompts, example of prompts to generate lesson and to generate creative and interactive activities. So I will give you all this. I will put this in the chat actually, just in a second for you. And I will send you an email anyways right after this, so you'll have the link for that. Also, what I have is I have 3 courses that may be interesting for you. The first one, actually, is the middle one, is leveraging artificial intelligence for optimized units and lesson planning. Then I have also rethinking assessment, and I've compiled the most practical AI tools that you can use in your classes. And this was, I've had over 300 teachers all over Europe who said, oh, you should put this tool. So I've put all these tools in there. Because you were in that masterclass, you can get these courses. They're asynchronous courses, so you can do them at any time you want. And so they are for 90 francs instead of 150 because you came to the masterclass. And I have a little bit of a summary of what each masterclass is, each course is, and I have put the QR code for you in case, and I'll send you all this in the email also. So the leveraging AI for unit planning. So you're going to be looking at key aspects of unit planning, writing effective prompts with lots and lots of examples of prompts, how to write progressive prompts, how AI can find relevant resources. That's very important because we spend so much time on finding resources, generate unit and lesson plans, and then creating dynamic interactive activities. The second one is on assessment. So it is embracing AI practices, the ethic and the integrity of AI education, the benefits of AI in assessments, creating high quality assessment, all the correcting tools, and how to write feedback, give immediate feedback. And well, that is my little one that I love, is the data-driven decision making. And then also tracking academic performance of all your students as a class. So it gives you an idea of, oh, they did not understand this. However, they did very well in this area. And that really is helpful with your teaching. And the last one is then all the different tools. And these are all the tools. There's some of the tools that I have put in there. So AI search engines that you're all using, then lesson tools for lesson plannings, creating slides, so presentation. That was Brock who was asking this. Gamified quizzes, interactive videos where you can stop the video and put questions within the video. So then when you show it to the kids, it stops and has the question in the right places. How to make how to do memorization, and then revision tools, like how do you do a study guide with AI to make it much easier for students to prepare for test, automated correction, differentiation with text reformulation, rubrics, and organization, note-taking and summarizing that you need when you have meetings with your team, or you have meetings with parents, or you have meetings with your administration. So all these, you have lots of tools in there. So there we go. Maybe what I've done is I've put at the end of this, when you go back to the course, I have put a feedback form. So if you want, you can put a feedback in there. And if you put a feedback, you will also get a certificate for having attended this course. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always contact me either in the discussion groups. Contact me on there because then it's good. A lot of people can see the different questions you have. So I'm here to give you a hand, and I'm very happy that you came tonight. And I hope I will be able to chat with you in the discussion groups and stay in touch. Thank you so much. I wish you a good evening, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. This was very inspirational and looking forward for more courses.
Excellent. Well, I will do some more then. Yes, I'll prepare a few more
Yes.
for you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
You're welcome, Shine.